All right, Full Circle Fitness fans, here we are again with another Fitness After 40 workout. Today, we're going to be doing upper body and core. So it's going to be an upper body core circuit. We're going to be showing you 5 exercises that you can do that are not only going to work the muscles in your upper body, we're going to be doing biceps, triceps, shoulders, back, chest, but you can work those muscles. You can also work your core at the same time. Remember, the whole purpose of these Fitness After 40 videos is to show you how to maintain lean muscle as you get older without putting the necessary stress on your body, on your joints, on your ligaments and tendons. So let's show you how to increase range of motion, increase mobility, and still maintain strength and lean muscle by doing these Fitness After 40 workouts, okay? So with that in mind, all of these exercises we're going to be doing today, you're going to be doing for 65 to 75% intensity of your 1 rep max. And so if you don't know that, the rule of thumb is always shoot for 12 to 15 reps of all this stuff. You're not trying to go really heavy with these exercises. You're trying to just keep and maintain the lean muscle, and you could possibly even gain a little bit more lean muscle without putting that stress. The more weight you do, the more stress you're going to put on your body, okay? So the equipment you're going to need today is going to be a stability ball. You're going to need a bench or chair, and you're going to need a dumbbell, and you're going to need a kettlebell. Now, if you don't have a kettlebell for this one exercise, that's perfectly fine. You can use a dumbbell as well. Kettlebells are going to work a little bit better when we do that bottom-up position, which is better for your grip strength. So if you have a kettlebell, great. You don't necessarily need it. You can just use another dumbbell, okay? So let's go ahead and get right into it. We're going to show you 5 exercises. Each of these exercises are going to be done for 12 to 15 reps or for 1 minute, and we'll specify on those exercises as well. So let's go ahead and get into it in 30 seconds, and we're going to show you preview before each one, and let's get to it. All right, so the first exercise is going to be a shoulder press walk. And so this is a great exercise to not only strengthen your core, but really help strengthen your rotator cuff muscles around your shoulder, really help with the stability of the joint itself. It's fantastic for working on grip strength as well. You're going into a bottom-up position now. Again, if you don't have a kettlebell, just use a dumbbell. You'll still get the same thing. You just might not get as much grip strength on this exercise. All right? So you're going to press straight up, keeping your core tight. Then you're just going to walk for 50 to 100 feet. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to do it for 1 minute each arm. Okay? So let's go ahead and get started. In 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's walk, okay? So as we're walking, we're keeping our core nice and tight and engaged. We're keeping our ribs down, which means you got to kind of rotate that torso down a little bit so you're not arching your lower back. A lot of times people start arching as they're doing this, start leaning back. Don't do that, okay? Keep the kettlebell up. You can have that thumb right in here in the front, all right? That'll help with the stability. Engaging that core, keeping the abs tight. Always make sure when you're doing this to keep that chin in. Don't let that head come down when you're doing this. Nice and posture upright. You're going to want to have that habit of leaning a little bit to this side. That's okay, but don't lean too much. Keep everything engaged. Okay, and just continue walking. We're almost there. We got 10 seconds. Keeping that core engaged, nice and tight. You'll start feeling that burn around the shoulder, which is what we want. And rest. Whew. Okay, now usually I'll give it 20 seconds to rest in between each arm. If you're doing one arm at a time, you really don't need to rest, unless you just want to kind of shake this one out. But I recommend at least 20 seconds resting in between each arm. So we're going to press up. We'll get started. And walking. Okay, remember, core tight. Another thing you're going to notice with this is that one side is weaker than the other, all right? We're not even on our arms on both sides, unless you've trained that way for a long time. In jiu-jitsu, what I do a lot, and a lot of sports where it requires this constant tension of a push against something, we call it an isometric, where you just can't push against an immovable. If you push against an immovable object, you're contracting that muscle. This is great for that, all right? So especially if you're a grappler, really good for strengthening those rotator cuff and shoulder muscles, all right? Even in your muscles in your elbows. See, I'm even walking off screen here. So even in your muscles in your elbows, right, your lateral epicondyle, your medial epicondyle. A lot of times you'll get those inflammations because of golfing or tennis. This helps strengthen all those stabilizers in your wrist, elbow, and shoulder. It's fantastic. Whew, and go ahead and relax. All right, so 1 minute each arm on those. All right, let's go ahead and get into our next exercise. All right, so our next exercise is a V hold with a bicep curl. So we're going to be working our biceps and our core at the same time. Now, you want to choose a weight that you're probably not, if you're curling heavier weights, like maybe 20s or 25s, you probably want to scale it back to about a 15 or a 10 on these, because it puts a bicep in a position where you're behind your torso, which is great. You can do the same thing with an incline curl, but they're not as strong in that position, so you want to use a little bit lighter weight. And you also are going to be doing your core at the same time. So you're going to be lifting your legs up in that lean back V position while you're doing arm curls. So you're kind of getting all these different muscle groups working at the same time. You don't just have to sit around and just do standing bicep curls. We're getting older. We need to work our lower back. We need to work our abs, okay? So that's the position we're going to get into. We're going to do them for 15 reps. If it gets to be too easy, then add more weight. But shoot for about 12 to 15 reps, okay? Let's go ahead and get started. In position, chest up, eyes up on the ceiling always. Don't have that head down. And let's begin. 1, 2, getting that full stretch. 3, 4. If it's too much to have your feet up, 5. You can put your feet down. Get that nice squeeze. 8 at the top of that movement. 9, 10. You could even hold it for a little bit at the top. 2 more. Hold that last one, squeeze, and relax. Okay, so 12 to 15 reps on that. Push for that last 15 one. Again, the longer you're in that position, the more it's going to be working your core too. Okay, now, well, let's get into the third exercise. All right, so the third exercise is going to be one of my favorite ones to do for the core and the back. All right, it's an arm opposite row. Now, we see that arm opposite or the bird dog a lot. This is a variation from it where you can work your core, your lower back, your glutes, and you're also working your upper back as well. All right, so we're going to take that dumbbell. We're going to place our right knee on the bench. Whatever side the bench you have your knee on, so if my right knee's on the bench, the dumbbell is going to go in that right hand. The opposite hand is going to come on the opposite side of the bench. I like this exercise not lined up parallel to the bench. You want to be a little bit at an angle, not quite perpendicular, but a little bit off the bench center, okay? So my left hand's going to go in the right corner of the bench. My right knee's on the bench and my left leg is up, okay? The hardest thing on this exercise is not the row, it's maintaining that your hips don't dip when you're doing it. I'll show you on the other side, okay? So you can see from this position, if my hip starts to dip down like this, you want to keep your hips nice and level with your leg up and engaged. All right. So again, we're going to shoot for 15 on each side. So engaging that core, abs nice and tight. Let's go ahead and start. 1, 2, 3, 4. I like to keep that toe that's up flexed towards you. 9, 10. Again, you can pause up here and get that nice squeeze too. Always remember to keep those abs tight. Hold that last one and relax. Let's go to the other side of the bench. So left knee on the bench, dumbbell in the left hand, right hand in the left corner. Lift that leg up, toe flexed in. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze your abs. And let's start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep going. 11, 12. Keep those hips level. 13, 14, Last one. Hold, hold, and relax. Now again, when you're doing these unilateral exercises, what you're going to notice is one side is weaker than the other. So if that's the case, change up the formula. Maybe do 15 on that weaker side and 10 on the stronger side. It's totally up to you on these. But I always like to focus on more reps on that weaker side when you're doing these one-sided exercises. All right, so that's just a little tip right there. All right, so now let's go into the fourth exercise. All right, so the fourth exercise is going to be dips on the bench, which you've probably seen that all the time, but you're going to have your feet on the stability ball. All right, now just in case you have some shoulder pain, you might not want to do this exercise. Okay, there's many different variations of dips that you can do. This is definitely going to work the stability in your shoulders as well as your wrists and elbows. Okay, and especially in your hips too. That's the good thing about it. It kind of works everything. So we're going to start putting our hands on the bench like we normally do. Have the ball nice and close. We'll start with one foot up, one hand, so opposites, and then you put the other hand on the bench and then work on getting your other foot up. All right, and I'll show you from two different angles on this one before we start. All right, so coming down for a dip and then pushing up, getting that nice squeeze at the peak of coming up, that peak of the tricep extension or arm extension. That's where you're really going to feel it. Okay, you get that nice stretch in the arms and then it fully come up and squeeze. So let's change the angle of that so you can see that a little bit better. And again, you can use a chair at home if you don't have a bench. Okay, so we're here. Now, you want to keep that butt. You don't want to let that butt travel forward with this ball. Sometimes a lot of things, I'll see my clients or some people do this, and they let that ball get away from them, and they're putting a lot of stress on the shoulder. Okay? Keep your butt as close to that bench as possible while you're doing this. Down and squeeze at that peak. All right? So again, we're going to shoot for 15 reps on this one. So again, start. Left hand, right leg. Get the other hand on there. Get in position. Make sure you're in the right position of the ball. Chest up or chest out. Shoulders back, eyes forward, and let's go ahead and start. So we're going down. Squeeze. 1, 2, 3. Don't let that ball get away from you. 4, 5, 6. Good. 7, 8. Take your time on these. 9, 10, 11. If your shoulders are okay, you can get pretty low on these dips. Make this your last one. Push up. And as long as you're holding and getting that squeeze, feeling it, you can even get an extra one if you want. So let that blood get in there. Hold it, hold it, hold it, and relax. When you get down, put your feet off the ball first. Whew, that's a really good core and tricep exercise. All right. Now, of course, you can do that exercise without having your feet on the stability ball, but we're trying to work core at the same time. If you go back to some of our previous other videos, we have a reverse plank position doing triceps as well. If your shoulders can't handle that one, okay. If your shoulders have too much pain doing that, just skip that and go to the next exercise. So let's go on to the last exercise of this round right now. All right, so the last exercise to complete this 5-exercise upper body and core circuit is going to be push-ups to a shoulder tap. It's going to work your chest, arms, and shoulders and core all at the same time. Okay, so get in a normal push-up position, hands on the ground, fingers out wide. You always see a lot of different variations of push-ups. People go elbow wide, people tuck their elbows in. I like kind of in between, not too far out, not too far in, somewhere in between that. You can do these on your knees and on your toes. So on your knees, it's going to look like this. You're doing a push-up. Always make sure to get that chest 1 to 2 inches from the floor. You're going to come straight up and you're going to tap to one side, tap to the other side. Try not to let your hips dip down too much on each side. If you're doing it on your toes, it's push up, come up, tap, tap. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get started again. We're going to shoot for 15. If you get tired, maybe you start on your toes and then go to your knees as well. But remember, engage that core. Keep that core nice and tight. All right, here we go. Keep going. All right. So there you go. There's 5 more exercises you can do. FITAFTTER40 Upper Body Circuit. Try them out. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're pushing out content for FITAFTTER40 all the time. Check out our other FITAFTTER40 videos. And as always, remember, be safe, be active, and we'll see you soon.